YouTube? It's your favorite YouTuber. Not really. But today, this bronze is going to tell you how to get out of iron. And today, I have a couple of deathmatch games I just kind of jumped into and recorded for this video. But I do hope you enjoy the video. And without further ado, let's dive right into it with tip number 1. And tip number 1 is stop using spam guns. And for this, I kind of just put the Ares and the Odin. And I still see people doing this at the bronze level, and let's just be real, bronze is not that much different from iron, so I'm not going to just sit here and pretend like it's that much different. But people will continue to buy the Ares because, number one, they can just spray and pray. And even when they can afford a Phantom or a Vandal, and I'll even offer, hey, do you want me to buy you a Vandal? They'll say, no, I'm good with this, and they'll keep using the Ares. And when they get enough money, they'll buy an Odin. And I get it. If you don't believe that your aim is good enough, you figure, hey, this has a bunch of shots, I can spray and pray, and maybe I'll kill somebody. But you're not going to get better doing this. There's a legitimate case to take an Ares over a Spectre, but not an Ares over a Vandal or a Phantom. The name of the game is getting one of those two guns in your hands, and I strongly recommend you spend your time in practice mode, doing the shooting test, plant defuse game modes, etc. Because in order to move up the ranks, you actually have to be able to aim and not rely on spam. Tip number 1.5, crosshair placement. And this will help you with your aim and eventually getting more kills. Find the crosshair that is comfortable for you and pay attention to your crosshair placement. I know my crosshair is a bit nutty, and I get that an awful lot when I play and people spectate me. They're like, yo, Cypher or Chantilly, what the hell is that crosshair? And I'm like, hey man, it works for me. And so yeah, mine is a little weird, but it works. You know, you can see. I mean, I do have a potato aim. You can see it in the video, but I do kind of tighten up sometimes. But anyway, back to the topic. Find the crosshair that works for you and pay attention to where you're aiming, especially if you're just walking around and you're slow walking and you're looking for someone, maybe you're flanking. Look at where your crosshair is. If it's at the ground or at leg level, when you see that person, you are going to shoot them at the ground or at leg level, or you're going to have to overcorrect or overcompensate or create unnecessary amounts of movement to get your shots to go where you want them. And even if you land the first couple of shots, you're still hitting their leg and they're still aiming at your head. And so odds are they're going to win that gunfight. I used to aim at the body because, number one, I didn't understand the bloom in this game. I was still relatively new to PC, so I didn't understand the bloom in this game. I didn't trust my aim, and I figured if I miss, it'll miss high and I'll hit him in the head. And I ran into the same issue because I'm going to lose gunfights because I'm still aiming at the body. They're aiming at my head. Even if we have the same gun, Vandal, one-shot headshot, it's not like that to the body, or Phantom within a certain range is a one-shot headshot. They're going to win every time unless I get lucky and they miss. So we need to be in that practice mode, learning the bloom patterns for these guns, and getting our crosshairs to where we need them and at head level. Only use agents you know. Remember, we're talking about rank. We're trying to get our rank up. Only use agents you know. I know we've all been in those lobbies where the insta-lock duelist gets mad at everyone else because we need smokes or we need heals and tries to force you to play Omen, Sage, Brimstone, or any of those people. Don't do it. Because the only thing that's going to happen is, number one, you're going to play horrible because, number one, you don't know what you're doing. Number two, you're not comfortable with the agent. And number three, you're going to spend more time thinking about how and when to deploy your abilities versus actually playing the game and paying attention to what's happening around you. And so if you're a Cypher main, use Cypher. And that leads me right into tip 2.5. And that's learn similar agents. And I know I'm already like 4 tips in technically, but look, they're piggybacking off of each other. So you got to give me some credit here. You should know more than one agent, but I feel like you should learn similar agents. So, for example, I'm a Cypher main. I also use Killjoy a lot, really depends on the map. And I do know Sage, and I don't really use her that much, but if we want a Sage, I can run a Sage. If Cypher and Killjoy get picked, I can run Sage. What do all these three have in common? They're Sentinels. I naturally feel comfortable with Sentinels. And so I feel that you should learn the agent that is similar to yours. So if you're Omen main, you should learn Brimstone, maybe even Breach. I feel like you should learn the agents that are most similar to your main because that's usually what you're most comfortable doing. Tip number 3. Learn how to Econ. When I first started playing this game, I had no idea how to Econ. I wasn't a CS player. We're literally new to PC gaming and PC shooters. I didn't know what it was. I bought every chance I got. And learning how to Econ will keep you out of the poorhouse, which will keep you in games. Because if you can only buy a little bit of utility and a ghost every round, there's a problem. For example, when I load into a game, I only buy utility in round 1. In round 2, I buy utility and shield. In that way, I am guaranteed to full buy in round 3. And when you're playing the game, look at your minimum credits for next round, and the number should be around 3,500 to 3,900. The more the better, obviously, but that's why I like to keep it minimum at least. Now there's times where you need to full buy. If you're down 12 to 9, full buy. You can't take the money home with you, so you need to keep yourself in this game. But learning the Econ will save your rank. Also, don't save a Ghost or a Frenzy or a Marshall. And shout out to the King Live for responding to my DM on Twitter. I didn't think he actually would. But it is not worth it economy-wise to save those guns. So what you do is, to avoid giving the other team some more credits for a kill, what you do is, when they clear the site, and let's say you're on defense and the bomb goes off, you can just walk into the bomb. And yes, you'll die and your KD will be a little bit hurt. Your pride will get over it. But you will not hurt your Econ heading into the next round. If you have an expensive gun, yes, save it. But don't, I'm telling you, if it's a 1v2, please go try to win the round. 1v3, please go try to win, depending on the situation, actually. Please go try to win the round. Don't just say, hey guys, I'm saving, and they literally just planted and it's a 1v2. So, anyway, moving on to tip number 4. Walk. Please walk. I promise you, in most cases in this game, you do not need to be running full speed with your knife out. The other team can hear you, and it could put your teammates in a really bad spot. If the round is at 14 seconds, you need to get the plant off, by all means run. If you're rotating through, let's say, spawn, and let's say you're at B and you're going to A, by all means run. But don't be the guy running when your team is slow walking, setting up for a site take. Tip number 5. Don't use alt/utility in the open. This is for my omens, my brimstones. No, I'm just playing. This is for everyone, really. I was just picking on them. But do not stand in the middle of the doorway setting up your smokes. You will get killed. Sage, do not res your teammates in the open where they just got killed. They will hear it, and they will repeat it, killing you and possibly your teammate, or they'll just kill your teammate again, but likely they'll probably kill you and your teammates. So, please be cautious of where you're using your ults. Tip 5.5. I know, I lied. When I was writing the script, I really thought 2.5 would be the last half, but not really. Tip 5.5 is use your ults. It is very important to use your ults, because every round you hold on to your ult is a round potentially worth of ult points you are not getting from kills, plants, orbs, which you should be collecting, you're not getting credit for. If you have your ult and don't use it, and let's say that round you get 3 kills in a plant, that's 4 points towards your next ult that you just missed out on. Stop waiting for the quote-unquote perfect time to use it, and use it. I mean, don't use it willy-nilly, because some ults can hurt teammates, but if you're Sage, don't be hesitant to revive your teammate after a round so they can pick up their op, their Vandal, and Phantom, so they don't have to buy another one. Use your ult as sort of an Econ. Cypher, I know, I'm a main. I know it's really hard sometimes to use your ult because you need a dead body. It needs to be relatively fresh. And same with Omen. It never seems worth it to use an Omen ult unless it's like last second site plant. But I promise you, it's okay to use your ult to get a glimpse inside of a site and then just come back out of it. Hey, we got some information. We're done. And the 6th and final tip. Don't panic in clutch situations. And I know this is a big one. People will be in 1v2s and pretty much just get nervous and shut down. I actually, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I promise you I'm not. I actually feel more comfortable in 1v3s than I do in 1v2. I know it sounds weird. I'm going to make a collage of all my 1v3 wins. I really feel more comfortable in a 1v3 than a 1v2. But back to the main topic. In clutch situations, the number one thing you should think about is using your gun. I see Sova mains, and this is really who I see the biggest problem of. They default to their shock darts. Like, that's the first thing they'll grab is their shock dart. If they have their recon bow, they'll default to that, even when they hear somebody pushing up towards them. But in the time it takes you to take out your gadget and to use your gadget, it takes a long time. It doesn't seem like that long, but it takes a long time. And your shock dart does not do more damage than your gun. I promise you it doesn't. And yes, there are times where you should use your utility to help you, to assist you in clutch situations, but nothing will help you more than your gun. Situational awareness, your ears. Those are the 3 things you need most when clutching. Also, when you're clutching, do your best to have isolated engagements. Do not try to go head on into a 1v2 or 1v3. Do your best to make it a 1v1 because that's where you stand the best chance. On the screen is one of the 1v3 clutches. You see there I trade out the Reyna. I hear the Sage is coming and I get aggressive and push towards Sage because I know the Jett is not with her. And now it is a 1v1. And now you'll see that I see the Jett. I use my cage because now I know the Jett is not pushing me and I have time to deploy the cage. And now I'm just listening. I'm looking at the clock. There's 15 seconds left. They have to plant. So I do not need to be aggressive here. I'm going to do my best to take my time and just play it smart. I run away and just wait to hear the Jett plant. I hear the plant is going down. The Jett will actually get the plant off. And for whatever reason, the Jett decided to make the most noise in the world and jump on top of the cage. She had an op, so I was a major advantage because she only gets one shot and I get as many shots. I get 30 shots because I have a Spectre. And so if she misses, I pretty much win this engagement. So I kind of got lucky with the fact that she had an op and that she made a bunch of noise. But these are the kind of situations you need to take advantage of. And then we're going to take a look at one more of the 1v3s. You see there I'm left on 5 health after that engagement. And I get really aggressive here because I needed to be a 1v1. And I push the Raze after hearing her try to satchel. And she's in the air. She can't aim as accurately. I land that shot. And then it just came down to landing the first shot against the Viper, which I did, and won the round. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. See you there.